Hello and welcome to the Business of Happiness podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Tarryn MacCarthy, and today is going to be a phenomenal day. Hello, friends. So great to have you here at the one and only podcast for women dentists who know that they are meant for more, who know that there is so much more to life than the hustle, the grind, the stress, the overwhelm, and that know that there's something inside of them that is meant for more. So this is what we're exploring in the upcoming weeks on the Business of Happiness podcast, is that feeling inside of you that says, you know what? There's more to life than this. I mean, here's the thing. You have worked so hard. You have put decades, literally decades of your life into this career, showing up every day to support your patients, to lead your team. And so often in that journey, we find ourselves just wishing away the weeks, wishing away the days just to get to the vacation. I remember this years ago. My husband, who's also in dentistry, I remember years ago, he said to me, you know, the best part of my job? The vacations. And I thought, babe, we only take like 1 or 2 vacations a year. And he said, yeah, my job affords me the opportunity to go on vacations. And I thought, we need to change this for you. We need to change the fact that every single day you are not loving your life. Something needs to shift. And I want to call this out right now because I think we tell ourselves that it's not important to feel good every day. Guys, it is the most important thing. Feeling good is the most important thing in your life. And I'm not saying that you need to be happy, swinging on sunshine, dancing on a rainbow every single day of your life. That's not real life. And that's actually not the point either. I'm just saying I would love to live my life where I'm not just dreaming about getting to the weekend or to the vacation. And that's what we're talking about here today. And I think one of the things that interrupts us from that experience of looking forward to every day, is in dentistry, we have a little bit of PTSD from angry patients, from people who take things out on us. Now, we're calling this out today because it is real in our profession. It is real. And what I want you to recognize is 99.999% of the time, that reaction or outburst or anger that's projected at you has nothing to do with you. I know it doesn't feel good to receive, but what's actually happening is you're making it mean something about you. You know, this is what I liken it to. When I'm on the highway, I have no feeling about road rage. Other people's road rage. I mean, it can't spark anything in me. It just doesn't. If I get cut off, if someone steals my spot as I'm waiting for a parking spot in the parking lot, I literally feel nothing. It doesn't bother me. I'm not irritated by it. It doesn't ruin my day. I just go and look for another one. I think, oh, great, I get to walk a little further. I get to move my body a little further. Oh, that guy must be in a real rush. I'd hate to be in his shoes today. Literally, I feel nothing. And I know that when I'm irritated, when something hurts me, somebody else's comment or actions or, behavior hurts me, it's because it's pressing on a bruise, a little internal emotional wound that I haven't healed about myself. A feeling that I have maybe subconsciously been thinking. Now, isn't that so true for you too? I've used this analogy before as well. If I said to you, it's really weird, that big purple horn on the back of your left shoulder. It's so weird how it protrudes out like that. You'd think, what on earth are you talking about? Have you lost your marbles? Because you have nothing to hold emotionally about the purple horn on the back of your shoulder. I'm picking something ludicrous on purpose to make my point. When it has no connection to a concern, a wound, an insecurity of yours, it doesn't mean anything. So you let it go. It's when somebody says something that triggers an insecurity or a fear or a concern in you. Now, this is where it gets really juicy. And this is where I love our adventure and our experience as dentists. You know, I really hold this to be true. I think we're very fortunate as human beings to have chosen this profession, not just because we should feel good about it, but because it gives us so much insight to ourselves. And I personally believe that is the whole point of life, is to learn more about yourself. So in this dental journey of ours, we get so many interactions with people in very personal ways. Guys, we're in their mouths. We're in their mouths, such a vulnerable place energetically. Can you imagine letting anyone that close to you? Just for a moment, how many people do you let in your mouth? We forget how intimate we get with our patients. It is a very vulnerable place. It is very difficult to protect yourself when somebody's in your mouth. It's very difficult to voice your opinion. It's sometimes difficult to breathe with all the things we put in there. So we get to be in these very interesting relationships with our patients. And we get to be mirrored some beautiful insecurities that we hold for ourselves. Just for a moment, what if every comment that you got from a patient, whether it's on your Google reviews or it's in the chair or sitting in the waiting room, what if every comment was an opportunity for you to say, oh, that didn't affect me. I guess I don't have that insecurity. Or, ooh, I'm taking that home with me today, and that really bothers me. Here's an example. Years ago, decades ago at this point, I guess. Oh my gosh, isn't that funny when you realize how long you've been in dentistry? Okay, this was probably a good 20 years ago. I had a patient, a brother and sister, who I had inherited their treatment from the practice that I'd purchased. And the orthodontist before me had started their treatment. And the little girl, I will never forget, she had transposed canine and lateral that this previous orthodontist was trying to reposition. So he's literally trying to take the canine that was in the lateral position, lower jaw, by the way, take the canine that was in the lateral position and switch it with the lateral incisor. Now, for all my orthodontists out there, you know, this is a no-go because we are going to strip that gingiva. We are going to cause a huge periodontal problem. And when I was in the and once again, I have no idea. I am not blaming him or bad-mouthing his treatment. I have no idea how this case started. All I know is when I received the mid-treatment case, we were trying to flip canine and lateral back to their positions. And there was all kinds of perio issues happening here. She'd been in braces for a very long time. It was a hard case. And I really needed to make some big, scary decisions. I decided to extract the lateral incisor and close the spaces. Longer story, it was a bigger situation, but I needed to get this canine back in bone and back in periodontal health. So I had a certain amount of, insecurity around this decision. Here I was, a young orthodontist, purchasing this practice. A little bit of me was feeling like I was still learning the ropes, like I didn't quite trust myself. And this was a big deal decision that was going against what my predecessor, a man who had been in dentistry for, in ortho for like 40 years of practice. So this was a little bit scary for me, but I was taking the bold step. And so this patient held a very soft spot in my heart. And I was also very concerned about how it was going to turn out. And her brother was in treatment as well. So together, I was being very cautious about this treatment plan. Well, one day, Mom came in. And I remember sitting in the back room treating my patients. And I just heard the screaming, angry woman in the front. And she was yelling. And at the time, my office was tiny. It was this tiny little 900 square foot practice. And we could hear everything. And I knew that everyone in the office could hear. And she was very unhappy. There was some financial situation that my office manager was discussing with her. I honestly don't remember the details at this time, but I do remember the anger. I remember the terror I had of this happening in this tiny little space and what all the other patients might be thinking. I remember the words she said. I remember she said, I am going to go to the bus stop tomorrow morning and tell everyone what a terrible practice this is. And I was just in the fledgling stage of my practice. I was terrified. I mean, to me, this meant disaster if she went to the bus stop, letting all the other moms in the community know. I was just trying to get on my feet with the practice. I felt like I needed to have this reputation really solid. I was insecure. I was fearful that I wasn't going to make it. There were a lot of things going on in my world, and this terrified me. I don't remember the outcome that day. I just remember the fear. I remember taking this home with me that night. I remember not sleeping. I remember telling everyone I knew, my husband, not boasting about it because I didn't want many people to know, but I remember complaining to my girlfriends and saying, look, this thing happened. What should I do? I don't even remember how I navigated the financial part. I just remember the fear and the stress that I lived with subsequently. And this reminds me of us as dentists who put off happiness to the weekends or the vacations. We think this is what dentistry has to be. It has to be suffering through these moments of, fear and the aggression that some patients walk in with and the anger and how we try our very hardest. I mean, I was doing my very best for this patient. If anything, I was paying extra attention to this little girl and her brother and this family. I was really doing my most, working my hardest for this family. And this was the mom that melted down in my practice. 5 years later. Now the kids are out of braces. They're in retainers. They coming in I don't even remember at this point if they were still coming in for retention, but they were complete. Their cases were complete. I was happy with their treatment. 5 years later, I walk into the office and there waiting for a new patient exam is this mom. Could not believe it. And I thought, oh my gosh, what now? What are we going to face now? And she was coming in as a new patient. And I kid you not, she had decided that she had lived her entire life with a very narrow palate and a posterior crossbite on both sides, and she needed an expansion. Not only did she need an expansion, she needed surgical expansion, and she was told this by her dentist. She had been suffering from all kinds of things, and she knew now that this is what she needed to do, and she was coming to me. And we sat down in the new patient exam, and I explained to her what a SARPE, a surgical rapid palatal expansion, was going to look like, the surgery she was going to have to go through, the recovery, the expansion appliance in her mouth that she was going to live with for, a good part of a year. And, told her everything, gave her the full informed consent. And she said, okay, I trust you. Let's do this. And I remember saying to her, Linda, I just need to ask you, not 5 years ago, you came in here and said what a horrible practice this was. And you really made me think that you had lost all trust and faith in me. What has changed? And she looked at me, she said, oh my gosh, Tarryn, yes, I am so sorry about that. I was going through a horrible divorce at the time. And I don't know, I was just looking to blame everybody. And I was very scared financially because my husband was telling me he was pulling away all financial support. And I was just in a place of such stress. No, I loved you. You did an amazing job. You saved my daughter's teeth. Her smile is beautiful. You're the only person I would trust. Let's do this. Hello, incredible woman dental business owner. If you have been craving more freedom, more joy, and more ease, then this interruption in your podcast episode is meant for you. And so is the Empowered Owner Retreat happening this November 13 through 16 at the stunning Diplomat Resort in Hollywood, Florida. This isn't just another conference, it's an intimate, transformational experience where we step away from the demands of your practice and the stresses of home and finally breathe, reset, and more importantly, reimagine what's possible. We'll redesign your business model so that it supports your life vision, not the other way around. You'll walk away with practical, tactical tools to reclaim your time, to lead your team with confidence, and be done with all the staffing drama and stress, to build a business that gives you more space and time, more peace, without having to hustle harder. It's an exclusive small group retreat and the spaces are almost gone. I honestly don't know if I'm ever going to be doing this again, so this is truly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So if this speaks to you, schedule a time to chat with me. It's invite only, but I'd love to meet you and see if this is something that can serve you in your life and your business. So click on the link in the show notes or visit www.thebizofhappiness.com to learn more. Your time is now. Now let's pause for a moment. The reality is, I knew nothing about her situation 5 years prior. I knew nothing. I didn't know she was going through a divorce. None of my business. I didn't know she was stressed out. I didn't know about her financial fears. I knew nothing. But I made her anger that day in my reception area, I made that mean something about me. I know I did because I carried it with me for months. The fear, the stress, the anxiety. Was it right what she did? Absolutely not. But did it have anything to do with me? Absolutely not. Turns out she actually trusted me. She actually thought of me as a great orthodontist to the extent that when she needed surgery, she came back to me. This is a really big moment, and I want you to just hold this possibility for every interaction you have in your office that stresses you out. What if you have no idea what that person is going through? What if you have no idea, and what if it has nothing to do with you? What if, as a dentist, you just get these opportunities to recognize what's going on inside of you? It has nothing to do with you, and here's the kicker. The way you feel has everything to do with you. The way your patient is responding or reacting has nothing to do with you. And the way you feel about their reaction and response has everything to do with you. Boom, there it is. But here's the really great thing. We get to learn about ourselves. We get to discover, oh my gosh, I'm feeling insecure. I'm feeling not good enough. Now we got someone to work with. Because now you can start to develop that sense of self-confidence and self-worth. I think many dentists have a lot of self-belief. We've worked hard, guys. We've gone through really difficult schooling. We've started practices. We've taken steps that were scary. We've done things on patients that we never thought we could, and we got better at it. I think dentists, and please send me an email if you're like, I don't believe in myself. I think after speaking to hundreds and hundreds of men and women in dentistry, we actually have a lot of self-belief. Give me something and I know I can do it. I can do anything I put my mind to. That's what I hear from many of my clients. But here's the thing. We don't always have that same sense of self-worth. We think we'd second guess ourselves. We think we're not good enough. And often with our patients, with our experiences during the day, we are shown the evidence of that. It's also why so many of us have a hard time setting boundaries, because we think, who am I? Who am I to set this boundary? Who am I to establish this? Who am I to ask for a longer lunch? Who am I to cancel patients today when I don't feel good? Who am I to end the workday at a certain hour so that I can go to my kids' soccer games? We don't always hold the sense of self-worth. And what's so beautiful and what I think is such a gift in dentistry is we get so many interactions that are deeply emotional, deeply confronting for our patients. Think about it. Not only are we in their mouths, this very vulnerable place, but we're possibly going to cause some pain. So we're actually asking you to trust us implicitly. And then we're probably going to charge you a lot of money. Warranted, absolutely warranted. You're charging, your fees are commensurate with the value that you offer. 100%. That is appropriate. But the fear and the anxiety that our patients walk in with before you've even said hello, before you've even had a chance to show them what you can do and how much you can help them, it's huge. Nothing to do with you. That is simply highlighting fear and anxiety in them. And look at what a beautiful opportunity. So we're walking into our jobs with very sensitive, vulnerable people who are going to, it's not an if, they are going to have emotional moments. It doesn't matter how good a dentist you are, it's going to happen. You can be the best dentist, the best communicator, the best leader. And trust me, I tried every single one of those and I worked so hard at it because dentists believe, we have a great self-belief. I know if I put my mind to it, I can do better. But here's the thing, maybe it's not the doing better. Maybe it's the feeling better. And we get this beautiful opportunity with our patients and our team members where we get to have this self-reflection of, wow, this is really bothering me. What if you didn't make the other person wrong, but you allowed yourself to ask, why is it bothering me so much? What is the lesson here for me? What is the lesson for me? Instead of just wishing away the week till the next break, the next vacation, what is the lesson you get to learn about yourself? That's the gift of being a dentist. It's not the wealth. It's you get to learn about yourself. It's magical. I really feel so fortunate to be in this beautiful profession, to be working so intimately with our patients, to be bringing up these emotional moments, these vulnerable moments, and I mean the gift of taking them out of pain. Let's not sugarcoat that. The gift of giving people a reason to smile. I mean, the impact you have is so huge. We could be loving and celebrating every single day. Now, the question is, why are you feeling so hurt by this day? Because that is a place for us to start working on to support you. It has nothing to do with the patients. Nothing. It has everything to do with what you're making it mean. So I gift you this today because it's a beautiful opportunity to learn more about yourself. What if dentistry in general was just an opportunity to know yourself more? For real, because that's what it is. That's what all relationships, that is what our life's purpose is to have these experiences, good, bad, ugly, scary, celebratory, and have them inform us more about who we are so that we can bring that knowledge to our soul self. It's precious. It's a gift. And I want to remind you today that giving yourself that break, you're not doing anything wrong, my friend. You're not messing up. You are good enough. And that has nothing to do with you, but the way you're making it feel has everything to do with you. And that is where your superpower lies. Because when you feel good, when you can heal that, when you can identify, wow, this is my insecurity of I'm not good enough. Now I have something to work with. Already you feel better. Already you feel better. Oh my gosh. All I have to do is remind myself, Tarryn, you are good enough. Because when you feel good, that's when you can do good. I know you know that. Doesn't mean we feel great every day. It means some days we've got the learning. What did I hear? I heard this great quote. You're always either winning or growing. That's it. It's not in the easy stuff that we grow. It's in the parts that actually teach us about ourselves. The activating parts, the triggering parts, the parts where we're feeling scared or unhappy or fearful. That's where we get to learn and grow. When you feel good, you can do good. And the whole point is identifying, how do I feel good about this? What do I need to know? What do I need to learn? What do I need to remind myself of today so that I can feel good? And, I want to leave you with this. Thank you. Thank you, number one, for saying yes to dentistry and for serving your patients and for leading your team. But even more important is thank you for caring about yourself. Because when you do take care of yourself, you are such a greater presence, have so much greater impact on the world in all ways. And you deserve to be seen. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Business of Happiness podcast. If this episode brought you new perspective and value, I invite you to subscribe so that you catch all upcoming episodes and leave us a review. And if you know of a friend or colleague who could benefit from this perspective, share this episode with them and empower their day. For more information about the Business of Happiness and the Radical Happiness for Practitioners course, find me on www.thebizofhappiness.com. See you there.